I'm Kat McCary, and this Pecha presentation is about innovative structures for organizations. First, we'll talk about foundations of distributed leadership, then implementing shared leadership, organizational learning, and reflective practice. Distributed leadership is when one person holds the lead role, but decision-making is consistently and methodically spread to other levels. The first foundation of this style is trusting members to make good decisions. Another level of this trust is transparency around topics such as money and budgets, which isn't the norm in nonprofits. The second foundation of distributed leadership is investing resources in the learning and development of all staff to build skills that enhance shared decision-making. This might include leadership trainings in the history, mission, and vision of the organization. It is also foundational to build a structure that supports organizational values. For example, if including stakeholder voices is an organizational value, it can lead to models that provide mechanisms for learning and sharing every day. There should also be an awareness that patience and commitment is needed to develop innovative structures. It can mean creating time so that everyone can be informed, make decisions, and be involved. Another innovative structure is shared leadership, where the executive level decision-making is shared by multiple people. One way to implement this approach is by embracing autonomy, where staff are trusted to make the right decisions about program and fund development. Another feature of implementation is staff buy-in, where everyone is committed to shared decision-making and everyone is pulling in the time and energy required. Innovative structures that last the longest were those that were supported across the board, not implemented top-down. Sharing information is another aspect of implementation where staff need to build communication skills in order to share information. Many organizations struggle to find efficient and thorough ways of sending messages that don't always require face-to-face meetings. This factor is important for helping people find their voice, build rapport, and make informed decisions. Clearly defined roles also helps ensure that things get done and there is accountability in the work. It is often challenging to strike a balance between efficient distributive decision-making and ensuring people have the information and tools to effectively participate. Clarifying responsibilities and boundaries creates impact. The last step to implementing shared leadership is when executive leadership doesn't exercise its full control and instead passes on decision-making to other levels. Solid but not controlling leadership allows members to feel free to do their jobs but also feel comfortable to ask for help if needed. Another innovative organizational structure is critical community practice, where behavior is based on theorizing, reflection, and commitment to transformation. Reflective practice is when there is constant and consistent consideration of beliefs and practices of the group. This includes reflection on the social political context of their work. Another innovative structure is a learning organization that can adapt to changes and learn from experiences. This includes greater participation by employees, knowledge production and exchange, systems thinking, and rapid communication. When teams ask questions, change assumptions, and make deeply held mental models explicit, they can embed learning into the culture. A practical way to put reflective practice and organizational learning into practice. Organizations can employ T-teams. T-teams are small intra-organizational groups that meet regularly. These teams create a space for critical dialogue, increased understanding, challenging assumptions, and reflecting on practice. Gives time for members to discuss purpose, direction, and creative next steps. The use of T-teams encouraged organizations such as Island Center, a counseling program for homeless teens, to clarify their personal and organizational values. They realized they wanted to learn more about the social determinants of health and political nature of service work. They plan teach-ins on systemic problems such as poverty, lack of healthcare, unjust education, and unfair pay. T-teams engage groups in co-constructing visions, missions, and theories of change. This process helped an organization reflect on the power and privilege in their communities. They discussed whether it was better to help people survive or provide conditions that allow them to thrive. Establishing T-teams also helped organizations change their culture and improve trust. One organization pointed to a general lack of trust as the problem they wanted to resolve and reflect on. This led to the creation of a task force that tackled individual and organizational problems. Now we can look at some examples of innovative organizations. One example is the Black Panther Party, who had the Free Breakfast for Children program, which served as a space for educating youth about the current conditions of the Black community and the actions that the party was taking to address that condition. They also had a 10-point program that stated their wants, needs, and beliefs. The Zapatistas is an anti-neoliberal political group from Chiapas, Mexico, that fights for indigenous control of local resources. They are a decentralized organization where decisions are made in community assemblies. They practice mutual aid by building health, education, sustainability, gender equality, and international solidarity. The Coalition of Immokalee Workers fights for social responsibility against human trafficking, gender-based violence, and exploitation of farm workers. The group's organizing philosophy is based on principles of popular education and leadership development. They develop boycott campaigns on corporations and pressure them to sign the Fair Food Program that guaranteed farm workers better wages and rights. Although there are challenges to implementing innovative structures, these obstacles are fueled by the larger nonprofit industrial complex and neoliberal ideology that say organizations should focus on profit at the expense of people. If organizations try to employ the strategies discussed while challenging this oppressive backdrop, they have the potential to make transformative change.